Hi everybody, welcome back. So I'm going to do a little project pan type video today, and I don't think I've done one of these videos for a long time on my channel, so I kind of feel like I'm due one of these. So I'm just going to do a full face of project pan items today. There will be some makeup items that aren't from my project pan, but I'm going to do a full face of project pan and show you the items that are in my project pan and how I'm using them all. I've done my skincare. The last step I did was my SPF. I'm looking really pale, so let's zoom you in and I can pop some makeup on. So first item isn't a project pan item, and it's my primer. I'm using at the moment my only primer, which is the Vive Skin Nova primer, and I've actually cut the tube open and scraped out all the product and put it into this little Elemis tub. And this is 20 grams, and the product actually nearly filled the entire tub. And I have shown that Vive Skin Nova before on my channel, and I think I must have just had a bit of a faulty product because the pump was rubbish. It was pretty much brand new, so there was no reason for the pump to not be pumping out any product. But honestly, it would take me about 20 pumps to get some product out, and when it did come out, it would like spurt out. It wouldn't be like a nice round dollop of product. So I got fed up with that, cut open the tube and scraped out all the product, so it's now in that little Elemis tub. So it is, I suppose, not really that hygienic because I'm like dipping my fingers into it, but oh well. I try to make sure that I wash my hands before I do, you know, both my skincare and my makeup, so that will hopefully help. So just popping this down as my primer. This is okay. I don't love this. It's nice, gives my skin a bit of a nice glow. And it makes my makeup sit nicely on top as well, but I don't know, I don't really think it's worth the price. There are others that I want to try after this one, so yeah, it's okay, it does the job, but I am not wowed by it like I am with my beloved Bobbi Brown Face Base Primer. I am going to do a couple more non-project pan items first. This is my Bobbi Brown corrector stick in the shade Light Bisque, like peach, like what? Light Bisque. Light Bisque. And this is a product that I put on every time I wear makeup because it's just really good at cancelling out, actually not cancelling out because they are still there, but kind of reducing my dark circles. And I use my ring finger to pat this on. And then I like to do my brows next, and this is the NYX Control Freak, so just a clear brow gel just to separate my brows and push them up a little bit. But I don't think that this product is that good. I used to quite like it, which is why I repurchased it, but trying it for the second time, I don't really think it's that good. I do prefer the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. It's like 3 times the price of this one, but I do think it performs better than this one does. I feel like my brows aren't really kind of like held in place that well with this product. Right, foundation next, and there are no foundations in my project pan. I have 4 relatively new foundations and they're all pretty full. I kind of bought them all at a similar time, and because they're all fairly new, I don't just want to focus on one. So what I'm doing is I'm rotating through my foundations each week. So I focus on one week, one the next, and so on. And this week's foundation is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in the shade 4.25, but I do think that this is slightly too dark for me. I probably should have got a slightly lighter shade. So what I do with my foundation is I mix it in with this project pan item, which is my liquid highlighter. It's the Vive Skin Dew XL highlighter. So I just take, I might not even be able to see, a little bit and kind of swipe it onto, I suppose, my cheekbone area, and that's all I use. It's not much, and then I take just a squeeze of the foundation and kind of apply it underneath it. I don't use a full pump of foundation now. I just find it's too much for me. It looks really heavy. Regardless of how lightweight my foundation is, I don't really like a full pump of it anymore, and I only apply the foundation to my cheeks, and then any excess that's on the brush I then pop it on my forehead and around my nose and my chin and mouth area. And mixing the foundation in with the highlighter just gives a nice bit of like glow to the highlighter, no, to the foundation. So that's how I like to use that liquid highlighter. I do also sometimes use it as an actual highlighter, but not often, to be honest. And I also have a powder highlighter in my project pan, so where I'm not really much of a highlighter fan, I find wearing the liquid and the powder one a little bit too much sometimes, especially because the blusher that's in my project pan has a bit of shimmer in it as well. So sometimes I do look like I've got a very shimmery face going on, so sometimes I do just leave the liquid highlighter like that. And I feel like that's enough, especially because I'm going to go on with concealer, and then I've got cream cheek products and powder cheek products as well. So although it may not look like a lot or enough of foundation at the moment, especially because you can see some blemishes, at the end it is enough. So I did have a concealer in my project pan, but spoiler alert, I used it up. So this is my Vive concealer, and I'm just going to pop some under my eye and then on some blemishes. And whilst that sits, I'm going to use my Kiko brow pencil that's in my project pan, just to kind of fill in a bit of the little gaps in my brows. And it's mostly this end of my brows rather than the tail. Probably just a little bit on the top there as well. It's a good shade match for me, this one. I can't remember what the colour is. It's 04. Don't know what that means. I think it's a blonde shade. Although I am blonde, obviously as you can see I'm quite a dark blonde. My boyfriend likes to joke that I'm brunette. So taupe is a good eyebrow shade for me, I find. If I go usually for like blonde shades of eyebrow products, they are too light, but this one from Kiko I think must be like a dark blonde, because it is a good match for me, and it comes with a little brush on the other side, so I like to then just kind of brush through my brows ever so lightly to just help disperse and blend some of that pencil. And then I'm just going to blend this concealer in. This is actually an eyeshadow brush, but it's quite a nice like domed brush, and this concealer is just so easy and lovely to blend. And then I do just like to finish the blend with my finger, because I feel like that just helps push any sort of like excess product under my eyes and just smoothens? That's not a word, is it? Smooths it out. And then I'll use my finger as well for blemishes. So next is cream cheek products. I have this eye wand from Vive in the shade Camel. My hands are slippery, I can't take the lid off. And it's a really beautiful mid, very warm brown colour. And this works lovely as a bronzer. So all I do is I just draw a few lines back and forth on the cheekbone, or a little bit below the cheekbone. And I also put a bit on my forehead, a little bit down my nose, and then along the jawline. I don't know how much of this I have left actually. How much? Oh no, still a lot. Okay, that's going to take some time to use up. That's going to be in my project pan for a few more months. And then just take a brush and blend it out. I do a mixture of like tapping, buffing motions like this and a little bit of like swirly motions, but try not to kind of lift the product underneath it. And it just gives a little bit of kind of bronziness to my face, which I can then set with powder bronzer that's also in my project pan. My hair is getting on my nerves. I really should clip it away when I do my makeup, but I never do. And it is quite easy to blend out as well. It's not stubborn, and you don't need to work really, really quickly with it as well. You do get some time to kind of, I suppose, leave it on your face. So that's how I've been using that eye wand. I've not really been using it like an eyeshadow. I think maybe only once or twice I've used it as an eyeshadow, but every other time I've just used it as a cream bronzer. So I've got 3 blushes in my project pan, which sounds like a lot, but I am managing to be able to rotate through them quite easily enough. I have a powder, a liquid and a cream. I'm actually going to use the cream today. The liquid one is from Vive. It's a Sunset Blush Balm in Pesca, which is a peach shade, and that doubles up really nicely with the powder blusher that's in my project pan. But I'm not going to use that one. Instead, I'm going to use my Stila blusher in the shade Luminoso, which is this pink shade, a little bit cool toned, but I can warm it up. It works out fine. Now, before I go in with that, what I do is I use my NYX lip liner in the shade Peekaboo Neutral. This is a neutral pink shade. I prefer the shade Natural because that has some brown in it, so that's why this one is in my project pan, because I want to try and get this one used up because it's not my favourite out of the two, but I don't dislike it, so that's why I'm not decluttering it. So what I do is I just take some lines on my face like so, just draw it on, and I got this tip from one of Sarah Rose's videos, and I usually wear a lipstick as a blusher. I do that quite a lot, to be honest, but I never thought to do that with a lip pencil. And I used up a brown lip pencil in my last project pan by using it like a bronzer, so that's how I'm using this one, like a blusher. So I just draw it on like that, and then what I do is I take some of the Stila blusher on more of like a round brush. So I'm just going to use the brush that I use for my foundation, and all I do is that's how much you need, because this is very, very pigmented, and then I blend out the lip liner with the cream. Yes, I blend out the lip liner with the cream blusher. My goodness, I'm getting confused. And it looks like a lot of blusher, but cream products do fade quite quickly. And I like to put a little bit of blusher on my forehead as well. That was a tip from Wayne Goss. It ties in with the blusher on your cheeks. It makes it just a little bit more cohesive. Same thing again for my other cheek, a bit of that Stila blusher, and just blend that in to the pencil. Okay, I'm just going to powder. I'm going to use my Vive powder from my Shop My Stash. This is a lovely powder. It's so fine, it's so silky. Really a beautiful powder to work with, very lightweight. And then I just like to go under the cream products. Okay, powder products next. Fenty powder bronzer. Look at the state of that. I need to tidy that up. I need to give that a little bit of a clean. This is my Fenty powder bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. I'm going to use this massive face brush because all of my other brushes are drying on the bathroom windowsill. And just pop this where you would usually pop your bronzer. Cheekbones, forehead, jaw, ear. Don't forget the ear. I think I might have to repress this soon though, because it's getting a little bit awkward to pick up product. I find that I've got product like around the perimeter of my brush rather than like in the centre of my brush. Just pop some of that down my neck as well, don't forget your neck. And this is still going strong, although the pan is huge and I probably do need to repress it. It's still taking ages to use up. And then the powder blusher is my Milani Luminoso blusher. So I'm just going to pop some of this on my cheeks. This does have some shimmer in it, so if I really am in a rush, then I won't go in with highlighter over the top. But I have time today, so I will put highlighter on. I'm hoping it's not going to be too long until I hit pan on this shade, because it is my oldest blusher. It's one that I have used quite a number of times, so I hope that it won't be too long until I hit pan on it, but you never know. I mean, that Fenty powder bronzer is taking way longer to use up than I thought it would. So some products surprise you, some products don't take long at all to use up, others ages. I mean, also, if you've been around on my channel for a long time, you might remember that NYX eyeshadow base that was in my project pan. That took forever. I'm going to use my same brush for my highlighter because I really am running out of brushes. I'm going to use my powder highlighter from this Vive face palette. This is also in my project pan. The pan is getting bigger. I'm hoping that this one will be used up within sort of the next 2 to 3 months. This one hopefully shouldn't take long at all. Just going to sweep some of that on my cheekbones. I don't like to use too much of this though, because Milani Luminoso already has quite a good amount of shimmer in it anyway, so I don't want to be looking really shimmery. And then once the weather gets warmer and I can start to show more of like my collarbone and my shoulders, I will pop some highlighter on there as well, help to get that used up that bit quicker. Okay, eyes next. I have another eye wand from Vive in my project pan. This is in the shade Sand, and this is just a really good vanilla shade. Actually slightly darker than vanilla. It's a very warm beige, and you just draw it on your eyelids like so. I take a fluffy brush and blend it out, and I've been using this as like an eyeshadow primer. It does an alright job. It doesn't work as well as an actual eyeshadow primer does, but these eye wands are out of date and I don't want to waste them because I do actually really like the eye wands. I think they're really good products. So I'm including both of them in my project pan to give them some love, get them used. And they're very quick and easy to use. I mean, that one took no time at all. I'm just going to put some of Camel right above the crease to be my crease shade. Also, this video has taken ages. We're on 25 minutes at the moment, but when I'm doing this in the morning, it takes me, actually it probably takes me about 15 minutes to do my makeup actually, because at this point, after I've kind of blended out my cream eyeshadow, I would then either go in with powder eyeshadows from my Pan in Every Eyeshadow Palette Challenge, or I'm working through my single eyeshadows as part of my Shop My Stash. So that's why it would take me about 15 minutes, because I do more than this for eyeshadow. But I'm not going to do that today because I'm just going to try to use all of my project pan items. So the eyeshadow I'm going to use is this one that's in my project pan. It's from MAC and it's the shade Shroom. It's a shimmery ivory, and I have repressed it, and I've got a really big pan in the repressed version. So this one hopefully shouldn't take me too long to use up. I don't always use it as a lid colour because, like I say, I use eyeshadows from elsewhere in my collection, but using it as an all over lid shade obviously will help me get through it a lot quicker. But I would usually just kind of run it under the brow bone. Oh, it's my cat. I had to just move the camera leg a bit because the leg was blocking the door, and I've had to open this wardrobe door, and the cat is now in the wardrobe. And of course he wants to leave. And I'm just going to run some of that in the inner corner, and also just a bit under the brow bone as well. Yeah, I think once I've used my Shop My Stash items, my Shop My Stash eyeshadows rather, can't get my words out today, then I will focus on this one as my eyeshadow, because yeah, there's not much of this. I'm off centre, aren't I? There's not much of this left at all. I can get this used up in a month. And then I'm just going to run some of the bronzer under my lower lash line. Shall I do that today? Shall I repress this? I might, you know. I might do it. Right, next project pan item is my liquid liner from Eyeshadow. This is the Cocoa Edit Brown Liquid Eyeliner. Still going strong. Still feels quite wet, quite fluid, so I think that there's still a fair amount of product in here. It is a mini, so there shouldn't be loads of product in it. So yeah, I really don't know when I'm going to be done with this. I just do a simple line on my eyelid. I don't do a flick because I feel like that doesn't really suit me, and also I can't really do it that well either. They're never equal. One's always thicker than the other, one's always at a slightly dodgier angle. So instead I just run a line along my upper lash line. And I try not to make the line too thick as well, because where my eyes are hooded, I feel like it can close up the eyelid quite a bit, so I just do that. Right, I'm going to pop on 2 mascaras and I will be right back to finish off the lips. And then for lips, I can use the same lip liner that I used as my blusher. I don't tend to just use this on my lips though, because where I need a bit more warmth, I need a bit more, I suppose, brown in my lips, I do like to wear this with another lip colour, but for the purposes of this video, I am just going to use this as it is. So it's not a bad colour, but it's not perfect on me. And then I will finish it off with a lip gloss. I am very nearly out of this lip gloss. I don't really know if there's actually going to be much left in this. This is my Kiko 3D Hydra lip gloss in the shade 19, which is a, I'm scraping the tube by the way, which is a warm brown pink. I have taken the stopper out of this and I've scraped out as much of this as I possibly can. I'm trying to get the very last dregs. I don't really know if there's going to be much at all. Actually, there's enough. But this will be an empty for my next update. And there we go, that is the final look. So nothing too extravagant or complicated. It's a very simple, natural makeup look, but that is my kind of makeup look. So that is all of the products. Apart from that blusher, the Vive blusher is the only product that I wasn't able to show you and put on today, but those are all the products that are currently in my project pan, and that is what a full face of makeup with the items looks like. So I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you've got a project pan going yourself, please let me know how that's going as well. I did mention in another video that I would like to do like a halfway through the year progress report, I suppose, on how my project pan is looking. So yeah, I will need to kind of think about what I want that to look like. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're not already subscribed and you are thinking about doing so, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you again very, very soon for my next video.